Recently, there was research done. Hundreds of couples were polled and asked the question, what do you think one of the top issues in Christian marriages are today? One of the top 6 out of those results was a lack of investment. Sometimes as Christians, we may feel that, hey, we're going to church together, or perhaps we're reading the Bible, we're praying together. I mean, shouldn't that be enough? But we might ask that question, is there any more for us to invest? I mean, we're following Jesus. We've got an active spiritual life. Those things are wonderful. But here's the thing, that marriage is like artwork. I mean, in order for us to create something beautiful, it's going to take a little bit of work. We wouldn't just throw a piece of paper on the ground and splatter paint and say, man, that is so beautiful. It takes a little bit more than that. I think in order for something to look, or for us to expect something to look great, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some investment, a little bit more intent. And in order for us to have something great, we can't just ignore the investment that we place into it or put into it. So I'm not saying what you're doing is not enough, but maybe we should always look for creative ways. Here's another thing about marriage. It takes investment, it takes effort, and it takes creativity to create the marriage you love. It's just like a piece of art. We have to think about what we would want to create. We also want to make sure that it's in the master's design, of course. And then we have to have, let's just say you have a palette in your hand in the different colors. And I want to ask you, if you're creating something beautiful in your marriage, how many colors are on your palette? There might be investment, there might be effort, but is there creativity to it as well, and also the intentional time that we have to invest in it? So I just want to share a couple of things with you, 10 things actually, and that may create some artwork in your marriage or help you to create some artwork with you and your spouse. There's one requirement. You have to turn off your internet. You got to turn off your Wi-Fi. You got to put your cell phones up, because here is my 10 sheltered in place date night ideas that are better than Netflix. Okay, you ready for this? Number 1, better than Netflix. Number 1, take out by candlelight. Go get you some fast food, bring it in, set the candles up. Okay, so most of you have probably done this before, and you know how wonderful a time that was. But number 2, make a meal and a dessert together. Just create a little artwork in the kitchen, do some culinary skills together. It gives a great atmosphere for you to converse and talk with your spouse. Number 3, organize pictures. Organizing pictures will create some conversational pieces. This is maybe something that you would want to do with your kids. That doesn't sound like a great idea, having a date night with your kids, but you are sheltered in place. So if you could steal a little bit of intentional time with yourselves, but also to go through some of the pictures and your memories in those times that you've had wonderful vacations and opportunities to spend time together in the past. It'll just get you conversing. It may add a little color to your palette and become more creative. Number 4, games. Games are a great idea. Unless you're competitive, this may not be a good idea. You might want to skip number 4. Number 5, a living room picnic. I think I mentioned this a few episodes ago. Move the furniture out, create a picnic in the living room. Number 6, play a trivia game about your life, and maybe think of some things that you have not shared, or some historical things in your life that you could share with your spouse. Or this would be a great idea to find out if your spouse really knows what you've told them in the past, or there are some good things that they may not have known about. Number 7, fondue night. It takes a lot of prep. This is a great opportunity for you to get in the kitchen and do your thing around fondue night. Actually, someone else gave me that idea, so don't blame me if it's a bad one. Number 8, do a house project together. This sounds wonderful. So guys, you can actually start on that honey-do list now that we're in shelter in place. Some of those things may need to start getting eliminated, but you can do the project together. Number 9, write a bucket list together. Sit down with your spouse, think about some things that you guys have never done or some things that you want to do in the future, and you can put together a bucket list. And number 10 of the 10 sheltered-in-place date night ideas that are better than Netflix, number 10, have a date night and create your own 10 great date nights. I don't know. If you don't like my ideas, you can create your own. Do something, guys. Do something that causes the interaction, the personal interaction, that you can talk with one another and converse and have a little bit of laughs. You know what's manageable in your family. Even if you can give 60 minutes, if you can give an hour of intentional time for one another and steal it away. But we all need to take a little bit of a mental vacation during this shelter in place. Whether it's shelter in place or not, we all need a little bit of a mental vacation from the current news and other distractions that are taking place in our homes or around our world. But be intentional to steal away the time that you guys need. It's part of the palette. If you're going to create a beautiful marriage, get creative. There's effort that's involved, and of course intentionality. And I'll close with this and finish up. When we come out on the other side of this shelter in place, I always want to encourage you. I believe we're going to be stronger. And if you put some investment into it, some effort, and then also creativity, I think you'll create something actually beautiful when we come out of all this. If it's not already beautiful, it'll be even better. Have a great day.